Monday, June the 7th. The first thing on our agenda is to adopt the agenda, and I do have a few changes and additions for y'all. So one change at number 18, the time should read 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., not 10 to 2. Be 10 to 12. And the couple of additions at number 16 under our consent agenda under human resources, if you would add to hire a kennel attendant at the Animal Resource Center. And at number 14 under letter B on consent agenda, if you would change it to request permission to hire 3 employees in environmental services rather than 2. If you will add at 22A, preliminary plat approval for case 2833, the Oaks at Oxford Commons, phases 7 and 8. And then at 22B, if you would add preliminary plat approval for case 2844, the Oaks at Oxford Commons, phases 19 and 27. Does anybody else have any additions or?
No, ma'am, that's all I had.
All right, then with that, I would ask the board to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And John Morgan's joining us by phone tonight. As far as a quick mayor's report goes, we've got a lengthy agenda that covers most of what we're working on right now, but a few quick things. The Oxford High School hosted a ribbon cutting this week for the Center for Applied Engineering. And I would encourage everybody to go by and visit that new building at Oxford High School. It is amazing. It is really cool to see the planning that is going into getting our students ready and to get them prepared with life skills for whatever they choose to do after high school. The Garden Club recently at the Garden Clubs of Mississippi Conference, which is basically a competition between SEC states, they won 10 Deep South firsts, 5 state overall awards in the best in the state of Mississippi. They won 18 state firsts, and those are district awards, of which there are 6. And they won 4 state second place awards. In addition to these, the Garden Club has several other projects that have been submitted at a national level that they'll find out about shortly. It's important to note that all of these projects have been done during COVID. So they had to find ways to keep their membership involved and our city beautiful in spite of the ongoing restrictions. And last month, 672 live butterflies were released into our community in hopes of building and maintaining an interactive butterfly garden for education purposes and community enjoyment at the old armory. So we are excited about all the Garden Club is doing, and we will have a proclamation for the Garden Club later in our agenda. I would ask you now to authorize the approval of the minutes of the special meeting of May 17th, 2022 and the regular meeting of May 17th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ask you to authorize the approval of accounts for all city departments.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, ask you to consider the consent agenda and with the 2 additions at, well, the addition at 16 and the change at number 14.
Motion to consider consent agenda as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Our first item on our regular agenda is to adopt a resolution for Donna Fisher, and I do not see her.
She just texted me, said she's almost here. She's running late.
Okay, well, we will just, when she gets here, we will go back to that agenda item. We will skip that agenda item for now and call up the one and only David Fox, my buddy. Also known as Batman. We go by Batman and Robin on regular occasions, and we even have t-shirts. So, this guy right here, I'm not sure that I'm even going to recommend that we accept his retirement because he is a rock star, and if you're around David Fox for more than about 3 minutes and you don't smile, then something's wrong with you. I'm just gonna go on and tell you, something's just wrong with you if this guy right here doesn't make you smile. He has the best attitude, is one of my favorite people to run into, whether it's in Larson's Cash Saver or at work, or anywhere else. But I'm gonna read your resolution, even though I am sick to see you go. You ready?
Yes.
Whereas David Fox has been an employee of Environmental Services since May 12, 1995, establishing himself as a valuable resource and respected among not only his fellow workers, but the entire Oxford and Lafayette County community. And whereas David Fox, with his dedication, knowledge, and abilities, has excelled while working for the city of Oxford, where he worked as a laborer on the refuse and rubbish trucks and right-of-way. And whereas David Fox's comprehensive knowledge of his job and of the entire Environmental Services Department will be deeply missed. And whereas David Fox has always shown a willingness to perform any task or project when needed, and whereas David Fox has made a mark on the city of Oxford through a commendably high standard of service to its citizenry, characterized by exemplary willingness, patience, and courtesy, and respect for the citizens that he served. Therefore, be it resolved that the City of Oxford, Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Oxford express their sincere appreciation and gratitude to David Fox for his work on behalf of the Environmental Services Department and the community. We extend to him all the best wishes for a happy and enriching retirement. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be spread upon the minutes of the City of Oxford and a copy of same be presented to David Fox on this day, the 7th day of June, 2022.
You don't say it enough. I ain't got nothing to say. You don't say it enough. Just did my time. Then I mean, all city employees and everything else, we good on everything.
Well, we appreciate your hard work. I can't tell y'all how many times I've gotten phone calls or emails bragging on, hey, the guy that works on our street with Environmental Services is the most friendly, the this, that, and the other. 9 times out of 10, when I call Amberlin to say, hey, who's on this route today, it's David Fox. David Fox is the guy that sees somebody that needs help and pulls that garbage can all the way up to their back door, even though that's not what we do, but because he knew that they needed it. He's the guy that if you're going down South 18th Street Extended and you're driving to work and there's a garbage truck that's holding you up in front of you because the guy on the back keeps jumping off and picking up trash, it's probably David Fox. If you are in Larson's and you hear somebody talking really loud in the deli, that's probably him too. But David, I appreciate your hard work on behalf of the city. I appreciate your dedication to the city, and I appreciate your friendship. And I wish you a lot of luck.
Girl, thank you.
You're welcome, buddy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Could I have a motion to accept the resolution?
I move to accept the resolution. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank y'all.
All right, and now Donna is here, so we will back up to number 7 and adopt a retirement resolution for Municipal Court Clerk Donna Fisher. Donna, if you'd like to come up. Donna Fisher, driver. Hey there.
Hey, how are y'all?
We're so good. How are you?
Wonderful.
Good. I'm going to read. The amount of knowledge that walks out the door with Donna Fisher is frightening. She is a walking encyclopedia of all things court. And I'm going to read this resolution. Whereas Donna Fisher, driver, clerk of the Municipal Court of the City of Oxford, has been a valued member of the City of Oxford staff since her hire in 1985, establishing herself as an invaluable resource and respected, beloved fixture among not only her fellow employees, but the entire Oxford community. And whereas Donna Fisher, driver, served her entire career in the municipal court, and whereas Donna Fisher, driver's love for people, desire to help and serve those in need, and common sense approach has provided a model for all public servants. And whereas Donna Fisher Driver in her lengthy career served with countless fellow employees, dozens of elected officials, multiple public defenders and municipal prosecutors, and 4 municipal judges, all while maintaining her high level of professionalism and compassion for all people through the court system. And whereas Donna Fisher Driver furthered her and her co-workers' knowledge and ability to perform the duties of the court through ever-changing laws of both the city of Oxford and the state of Mississippi, and whereas Donna Fisher Driver, through 37 years of uninterrupted service to the city of Oxford, Oxford citizens, and her fellow city of Oxford employees, has faithfully supported the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the state of Mississippi, and the ordinances of the city of Oxford, and has faithfully discharged the duties of her office. And whereas Donna Fisher Driver, through her faith, wise counsel, and service mentality, has served the citizens of Oxford with compassion, humility, integrity, kindness, and love, while ensuring all people received the full attention and good fidelity of the court. And whereas Donna Fisher has made a mark on the city of Oxford through her service and has positively touched many lives, and that her legacy will be remembered and celebrated for many years to come, therefore be it resolved that the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the city of Oxford express their sincere appreciation and gratitude to Donna Fisher Driver for her work on behalf of the community of Oxford, Mississippi. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be spread upon the minutes of the city of Oxford, and that a copy of the same be presented to Donna Fisher Driver.
Thank you.
I know you've got family here
I do.
to support you, and a room full of friends that admire and respect you, and the floor is yours.
Oh, gee whiz. Well, thank you. Let me begin by saying thank you. Thank you very much, Olive. That was so sweet and so nice, and I really appreciate it. And I hope that I have done a good service, and I'm very thankful to God for his guidance, and I'm thankful to him for the ability to be able to touch lives and hopefully make a difference in the community. And I thank the city of Oxford for allowing me to be here for as long as I have. I woke up one morning and discovered a dog. I've been here for 40 years. It's about time to chew. But anyway, it has. It's been good. It's been great. And the people that I've met, the friends and the friendships that I have made, they will be with me forever.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate the ability to be able to help, and to help the people that have come through the court to get through some of the red tape, because a lot of people don't always understand the function. They don't understand how it works and exactly what to say to get things done. So I appreciate that ability as well. And yes, I do have my family with me. I have my brother, my sister-in-law, my son Nick, and I think the rest of them will probably come later. But I thank all of you. It's been a wonderful experience. It's been a good journey, and working here, completing school, graduating from Ole Miss during that whole time, sometimes it has been a struggle, but I will say this: the end result has been absolutely wonderful, and I thank all of you.
Absolutely.
Very
Thank
much.
you, Donna.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Could I have a motion to adopt the resolution?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Chief, you want to come up and read the resolution for the retirement of Linda Sockwell?
She's trying to hide on me.
I know, I see her back there. She's behind Rob Neely.
Thank you, Mayor. It's an honor to be able to present this to you. And I was hoping you'd wear your powder blue shirt. That was the shirt you had on when I first met you, so a little disappointed. But it says, whereas Linda Sockwell has diligently served the Oxford Police Department for over 22 years since her hire in 2000, and whereas Linda Sockwell began her service in the parking division of the Central Business District and has since worked in multiple roles, ultimately becoming the administrator of inventory and procurement. And whereas Linda Sockwell served as a representative of the Oxford Police Department on the Safety Committee Board, along with RSVP, which included Triad, Senior and Law Enforcement Together program. And whereas Linda Sockwell developed and maintained many strong bonds and positively touched many lives within the community during her career through both active participation and service. And whereas Linda Sockwell has faithfully served the citizens of Oxford with willingness, integrity, and kindness while ensuring the Oxford Police Department was properly equipped and able to respond efficiently. And whereas Linda Sockwell has made a mark on the City of Oxford Police Department and the entire Oxford community through her service to its citizens that will be remembered for years to come. Therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Oxford express their sincere appreciation and gratitude to Linda Sockwell for her work on behalf of the Oxford Police Department and the City of Oxford. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be spread upon the minutes of the City of Oxford and that a copy of the same be presented to Linda Sockwell on the 7th day of June, 2022.
Promised my boys I wouldn't cry, or I told them I wouldn't cry. I didn't promise.
You don't have to hold up that commitment.
Well, I do appreciate all that y'all have done for not just me, but for the whole city. Y'all work so hard to make sure we have what we need to do what we do. And for giving me this opportunity to work with y'all and for so long. It's been a lot of fun. It has. It's had its ups and downs and curves, but as Ms. Donna said, it's been well worth it. And so I appreciate it.
Well, Linda, we appreciate you. You have been a staple of the Oxford Police Department and of our community for as long as I can remember. I think I first met you when I was the tourism director in 1993, 94, and have valued your wise counsel and your friendship ever since. And we appreciate your hard work on behalf of the City of Oxford and hope that you get to prop your feet up and relax.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. Could I have a motion to adopt the retirement resolution for Linda Sockwell?
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Chris Case is not here this evening, but you all have had his resolution on your board pack. So since he is not here, could I have a motion to adopt that resolution for Chris Case?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Next, we have request permission for retired officer Chris Case to purchase his service weapon for $1 as allowed by state statute. That is always. All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. And now we have a proclamation for National Garden Club Week that I am honored to read. We bragged on you. I saw y'all to come in just a minute after, but I bragged on you for all of your awards that y'all just won. Congratulations. You represented y'all represent us so well, and you do so much to make our community what it is. And we just thank you. We thank you for your hard work during COVID when things were shut down and y'all were still working to make it all beautiful, and for all of your hard work, and we can't wait to hear about your national awards as well. So I'm going to read this proclamation. Whereas the Oxford Garden Club helps beautify and preserve the environs of the city of Oxford, and whereas the Oxford Garden Club of Oxford, Mississippi has been singled out and presented with 5 Garden Clubs of Mississippi, Inc. First Overall Awards, 12 First Place Awards, and 2 Second Place Awards for the work done in the Oxford community. And whereas the Oxford Garden Club has been singled out and presented with 1 Deep South Garden Clubs, Inc. First Overall Award, and 6 First Place Awards, and 3 Second Place Awards for the work done representing Mississippi. And whereas the Oxford Garden Club has been singled out and presented with National Garden Clubs, Inc. Awards for the work done representing the southern region of the United States. And whereas through providing education, resources, and networking opportunities, the Oxford Garden Club was able to accomplish their mission of helping their members promote their love of gardening and environmental responsibility. And whereas by implementing the goals of the Oxford Garden Club, the Tombigbee Valley District, the Garden Clubs of Mississippi, the Deep South Garden Clubs, and the National Garden Clubs, the community of Oxford and citizens are able to benefit and live in beautiful, nationally acclaimed surroundings. Now therefore be it resolved that the Mayor and Board of Aldermen Government of the City of Oxford do hereby designate June 6th through the 13th of 2022 as National Garden Club Week, and we express great appreciation for the many hands that keep Oxford beautiful. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be spread upon the minutes of the City of Oxford and that the same be presented to the Oxford Garden Club. Could I have a motion to adopt this proclamation?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you, ladies. All right, next on our agenda is a quarterly report from Early Childhood and Reading Development Program. I don't see Tamara. Oh, I'm sorry, you're behind Rian, I didn't see you. Tamara, come on up. Everyone has that quarterly report on their board pack, and so Tamara's not gonna go through it, but if you have any questions, I know that she is willing to answer those. And then number 14 on our agenda is consider the FY 22-23 interlocal agreement for the funding of early childhood and reading development, and I think there's a change that she wants you to consider there.
Yes, so I do want to say I'm so excited about our results for our pre-K collaborative that we have seen a 50% increase from the fall to the spring, so I wanted to shout that out. And it seems like I'm here on the right night of retirement, so I am retiring June 30th, and that is reflected within that interlocal agreement. So for the last 3 years, it's been a $30,000 commitment from each partner of the aldermen, the supervisors, and the 2 school districts. We've gone down to $25,000 this year just because of that transition, and we have some money set aside that we can help cover. And I've been talking with Mr. Robertson in the city school district and Mr. Foster in the county school district of finding a replacement director. So that is about the only change is we're going down $5,000 per
Well, that is fabulous news.
We always like a decrease.
Yes, we do. In these days and times, we more than ever appreciate a decrease. Does anybody have any questions for Tamara regarding the quarterly report or the interlocal agreement?
And the change in that is also that school readiness coordinator, it is part 4, will be a part-time position for this year. And then they'll reevaluate the 2 school districts and move forward in the next school year.
Okay. If there are no questions, could I have a motion to approve the interlocal agreement at $25,000 for funding of early childhood and reading development?
Motion made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, and best of luck to you in retirement.
On to new adventures.
Good for you. All right, request permission to apply for a FEMA hazard mitigation grant for generators for the Industrial Park wastewater treatment plant and well site. This is a 75-25 match grant in the amount of $157,000 from maybe the best grant writer in Mississippi, Jimmy Algan.
Yeah, we had a unique opportunity to do an expedited grant for a quickie project, and this project was available to do. The breakdown comes to about $118,000 from the city, from the state and FEMA, and about $39,000 from the city. And we have to have this in by the 15th.
Well, Jimmy is so quick to jump on these grant opportunities, and we thank him. This one was a very quick turnaround, a matter of days, and so I'm very grateful that this is a project that we've needed to do, and we're going to get to do it for 25% of the cost. So we have a motion to allow us to apply for this grant.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Request permission to accept the donation of a television from Walmart for the Oxford Police Department. All in favor? Any opposed? Request permission to approve a parade assembly permit for the Oxford Juneteenth Festival on June 18th from 2 until 8.
Yes, ma'am. So 2 to 8th is our annual celebration. It's set up very similar to last year, and we're just requesting to block the streets for that.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? You've got the
Motion made.
permit. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Request permission to approve a parade assembly permit for Don Mason to host March for Our Lives on Saturday, June the 11th from 10 until noon.
Yes, ma'am. This will take place in front of City Hall and around the square. I don't think we're marching. I think we confirmed that today, but it would be mostly discussion there in front of City Hall.
All right, any questions? All right, do I have a motion?
Motion made. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Request permission to approve and authorize the mayor to sign an updated contract with RevCord for recording services, Chief.
Mayor, we currently have this, but with our criminal investigations unit housed in another facility, we've got to get another recorded line there, and so it would have us re-signing the contract. Nothing's changing, budget money doesn't change, but it's just a contract signing.
So moved.
All in favor? Any opposed? Consider a request from John Currents to shoot fireworks at Goose Creek on July the 3rd.
Yes, ma'am. So very similar to what we typically do. We're just asking permission for that.
Motion made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Request permission for 2 employees to attend TVPPA Apprentice Lineman Training in Murfreesboro, Tennessee on June 20th through the 24th at an estimated cost of $3,731.04. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Second reading and public hearing on a proposed ordinance for case 2865, amending Article 3 and 10 of the Land Development Code. Ben?
Good evening. Nothing has changed in the ordinance since we previously came forward the board, and staff has not received any comments from the public, just a lot of calls of interest.
Right. That is same for me. I've gotten several phone calls of people who are interested in applying to be medical marijuana distributors in our community, but I haven't gotten any concerns from anyone about our ordinance. Does anybody have any questions for Ben or anything that you've heard from anyone that you have concern about? If not, we would ask you to consider voting.
Public hearing.
Oh, it is public hearing. That would be nice of me to do too, wouldn't it? Sorry, getting ahead of myself. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak on this ordinance with any concerns? All right. Hearing none, I would ask that we consider a vote tonight, as we've not gotten any feedback or request for changes to this ordinance, and it does take 30 days for this ordinance to go into place. And so if y'all are agreeable.
I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we've got 2 additions to our agenda that we'll do now. At 22A, preliminary plat approval for case 2833, the Oaks at Oxford Commons, phases 7 and 8.
This is a preliminary plat approval for the Oaks at Oxford Commons phases 7 and 8. It's on about 13.5 acres. It's located just east of the.
Do you have a map, Ben, or something that we can?
I do, absolutely.
Since these are additions? Because we don't have it, right?
And it's on board packets at the top.
Oh, it is.
It's up at the top on the adopt the agenda item. Sorry, so I didn't know what item it was. And you might have to reload.
That I have to close out and reopen.
Yep, we attached it, a
If
late
not,
item.
I can
Okay.
put this up. Chris?
I don't know that. I don't know. He's back there. Yep.
There you go.
There we go. Thanks, Temple.
So it's about 13.5 acres, and it's on the east side, kind of by the power cut. So this is a little bit north and east of the high school.
Can you give us kind of a, what is that road?
This
Parkway is
I'm sorry.
and then
Yep.
going to the high school.
Oh, actually, yeah. Okay,
You got it.
sorry.
You got it. So this will have 15 lots on it, and about 5.3 acres of this will be dedicated to conservation. Engineering provided comments related to access and street, water, sewer, and utilities, grading and stormwater. And then at the February 14th Planning Commission meeting, the Planning Commission recommended unanimously to approve this request. So staff recommends approval with the conditions that are in the report, but actually all of them have been satisfied.
Motion made to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, next is preliminary plat approval for case 2844, the Oaks at Oxford Commons, phases 19 and 27.
this is an extension, you can see from the previous two phases, you can't see it. You can see here, lots 1, 2, 3, 4 of what was just considered, and this is an extension of that road. A total of 17 lots on 7.65 acres. An additional, just under half an acre will be added to that conservation and open space easement. Again, engineering provided comments, and this was considered at the March 14th Planning Commission meeting, and that was unanimously recommended for approval to the board. So staff recommends approval. There were, again, 6 conditions that have since been satisfied.
The road on the right, what is that one? It's got the half S curve. No, my right, sorry, you got it right there.
This is not even come for consideration at this
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out where the.
But it looks consistent with what was part of the master plan and the previously approved.
That's fine. Make a motion to approve. I was just trying to figure out what that road is.
Second.
Yeah.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Ben. Request permission to approve a list of budget amendments and reallocations. Ashley?
Yes, you had a very short list attached. I believe there was increases to our revenue and a few net zero reallocations to multiple departments. Kind of housekeeping.
Move we approve.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Consider bids for the construction of a splash pad at 502 Bramlett Boulevard.
So we opened bids this morning for the splash pad, and the OPC board reviews those bids, and I've got a bid tab, there it is. Can you also, yeah, bid tabs on the board here. We received 2 bids, a low bid from Great Southern Recreation based out of Huntsville, Alabama for $380,008. The OPC board voted to reject the bids as the bid price were much higher than estimated by our consultants. If the board wishes to follow OPC's recommendation and reject these bids, we will work with OPC to determine if we need to redesign or if we need to amend the budget in order to proceed with the splash pad in the summer of 2023.
And know this is sort of new in the last few years, is the Supreme Court has come out and said you can't accept a bid that is beyond the monies allotted. And they've really said that narrowly, that allotted means what you talked about, what you estimated.
And we estimated $175,000 for this project, and the low bid's $380,000.
There was once a day when cities would have said, well, can we find this and go ahead and approve one because it's not going to get better, but you just can't do that anymore. You've got to go back to the drawing board.
Move we adjourn all bids.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? And this is not us canceling this project forever. This is us rejecting these bids as we have to do based on that Supreme Court ruling, but also knowing that we don't have money budgeted for a project of that size right now. So, I know that the splash pad is still something that's real important to the Park Commission and to this board. So we will try to find a way to move forward in the future. Consider a proposal from ICM for construction management for the Oxford Enterprise Center. Mark?
Yeah, before you, the proposal for ICM for construction management services for the conversion of the Oxford Enterprise Center to the Oxford Police Station. This board identified that project as a top priority for the next fiscal year, and this would be the first step. It's the same proposal we've used previously for the garage and the activity center. The pre-construction fees are based on a monthly amount, and the construction phase is a 4% of the cost of work. If approved, we will begin immediately with the pre-construction phase. We recommend approval contingent on the city council reviewing the contract.
Motion made to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Consider a proposal from Mark Watson for the structural inspection of the pedestrian bridges and pier at Lamar Park and the J.G. McMurray Memorial Pavilion at Stone Park.
Got the picture coming up. This is my last item is a proposal from Mark Watson for the inspection and recommendations related to several highly trafficked wooden structures on city property. You can see here in this picture 2 bridges and 1 dock, and then at the Stone Park, the J.G. McMurray Memorial Shelter Pavilion. which is right here. We recommend, this is a professional service, we recommend approval. The cost would be $4,300, and he'll make recommendations.
What about the bridge at the other end of the park?
Is that a wooden bridge?
At Lamar Park? The bridge that goes over, yeah, that bridge.
There's the one.
The one that goes over the condominium.
I wasn't aware of that bridge. We can add that bridge with a not to exceed, or I can have a new proposal brought to you.
Is that a city bridge, or is that one that was built?
The one that connects to 800 Park was built by 800 Park.
That's not our bridge, and it's a
Yeah.
metal. That's a metal concrete bridge.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's not ours.
Okay. I'll back up. I like the other bridge.
Okay, so do we have a motion to hire Mark Watson? All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Thank you very much. Thanks, Mark. Request permission to advertise for annual materials bid. Rihanna? I don't like bidding anything right now.
And our material bids we've been notified by several suppliers already that they're probably not gonna bid because they're not gonna lock in a price. So we are trying to get creative, and we're gonna try to work with Ashley and seeing if we can perhaps do some shorter terms instead of a one-year bid, some different things that we can look at to try to get some bids just to help us maintain that continuity in our services that we provide. But I do request permission for us to be able to advertise so that we can have bids secured before our next fiscal year begins.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Request permission to apply for funds through the National Resource Conservation Service Emergency Watershed Protection Program for 3 projects: the Bailey Branch Bank Stabilization Project, the Elm Street Bank Stabilization Project, and the Stone Drive Box Culvert Repair Project. Rihanna?
Yes, this is an opportunity that comes to the city after emergency events happen to declare disasters within the state, and we've been notified that there are some funds that are available. We've got 3 projects that meet the criteria they've given us so far, and so we'd like to apply for grants. This does not obligate the board in any way. We have to apply, and then they'll come and do a site evaluation and determine if they are eligible for us to proceed through the application process. But we would like to do the Bailey Branch Stabilization Project, which we continue. We've applied for MEMA funds for that. We're not successful. We're going to try these funds. We're continuing to seek funds for that project on the Elm Street Bank Stabilization, and this would be a continuation of the NRCS project we did 2 years ago, and also a Stone Drive box culvert that needs to be replaced. So we'd like permission just to apply for those, for grant funding for that, and then I would report back to the board if we're deemed eligible to continue through the process.
Motion made to apply.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Consider a contract with HOH for professional services related to the design and management of the Conference Center roof project for the portion identified as Area B and including HVAC and mechanical repairs. Rihanna?
Yes, this is a continuation of our phased approach to making those repairs at the Conference Center. We'd like to move forward with the next identified priority, which is our Area B and our HVAC, and we'd like to go ahead and get A2H on board to begin that design work so that if the board chooses to fund that project for the coming fiscal year, we would have that design heavily underway and could begin that work sooner.
All right,
Motion to approve.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Rob Neely, you want to come up and let's go through your FY22?
You got one more.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did skip it.
Forget that one.
I know, of all
big
the
one.
ones for me to overlook. Okay, consider a contract with Wagner Engineering for professional services related to the design of, yes, you heard it here for the 950th time, University Avenue Highway 7 Interchange Improvement Project. Praise the Lord.
Yes, we have completed the process with MDOT. They have stated that they are, they don't, I'm trying to think of the language exactly that they use. They will not concur in awarding the contract to Wagner, but they take no exemption or exception to us awarding that contract. Now, they've reviewed it, and they have reviewed it in detail, And
For 6 months?
For 6 months, yes. We've been through this process and negotiations, and so we have now got a contract that MDOT would take no exception with Wagner Engineering for the design, and so we would like to go ahead and get them under contract and get this going. This will be for the design of the interchange, for the relocation of the utilities, and the acquisition of right-of-way. They'll be working with us in those phases.
Since the mayor can't vote on this one,
And I'll add that we do have money, we were allocated money from the state for the amounts, for the engineering design.
I'll second.
Yes. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'll kill you. Thank you. All right, request approval for the FY 22-23 budget for the Oxford Utilities Electric Division. Thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Mayor. I believe you all had a copy of the fiscal year 23 budget, and not exactly sure how much detail you want to go into like we typically do in a work session, or if you want to give an overview. I have some bullet points. It's probably about
I think let's
5
start
minutes or
with
so.
that, and we'll
go from there.
dig deeper if we've got some questions.
Sounds great. But I've actually written it out a little bit so I can stay on task, and
No, that's
feel free
great.
to stop me with any questions. But and I'll just kind of describe as I go through it the page that I'm talking about, and we'll go from there. But I'm excited to present the fiscal year 23 electric division budget. I can go into as much detail as you want about the projected revenues, expenses, O&M, and capital projects that we're planning for 23. 22 has been a productive year. We have implemented a new, more customer-friendly standalone website, oxfordutilities.com, which allows customers to apply for electric, water, sewer, sanitation service on the website more easily than printing a form, filling it out, scanning it, email it to us. They just fill it out directly on the website. It automatically gets emailed to us. We contact them for a deposit and go from there. We've also installed a standalone payment kiosk in our office in the drive-through so that we can receive cash, credit card payments 24 hours a day, 7 days a week when we're not in the office. We've completed a substation improvement project at the conference center substation. We had some voltage issues there in the past, and so the purpose of that was to stabilize the voltage and provide our customers with better, more reliable service. We have laid the groundwork for an EV fast charger station. We're getting close to starting that construction. That project will be 100% paid for with grant funds, 75, I think, or 80% from TVA, and then 20 or 25% from MDEQ, and that's a $200,000 project. We're planning to put that in the downtown parking garage. It'll be close to bathrooms and a coffee shop and a gas station. It'll just be great for customers, probably one of the best ones in the state and region because of the proximity to the things you need to do to take it 20, 30 minutes. It won't be like filling up your car with gas. It'll take a little longer. So I think it's a great location for customers to be able to make a loop around the square, get back in their car, get on the road. We're planning that for 2023 to finish that project. We've converted a number of overhead to underground utility lines at critical areas. Our main project has been along Highway 6 and Front Street and Lee Loop. We've got 2 circuits that cross Highway 6, and we're converting those through the woods to underground to make that circuit more reliable for our customers on West Jackson Avenue. That's got all of our commercial, or a large amount of it, in the city over there, so we're trying to protect them. We are continuing our LED streetlight project. We're 85 to 90% complete, and we're changing those out as the lights go out. So that's why we haven't completed it yet, because we're not taking down lights that are operating. We're only removing lights that stop operating and putting up a brand new LED fixture. We're almost done there. We do not expect we do not expect to request any rate action in the upcoming year. TVA's announced that they're going to maintain level rates for 10 years, for 8 additional years. And so we're really excited about where rates are right now.
Yeah.
You will see an effect due to the fuel cost pass-through. Gas prices for TVA natural gas, which is a lot of their generation, 30 to 33% is natural gas. And so the price of natural gas has gone up. It's probably doubled or tripled this last year, and they've hedged some of that. But you will see an effect for a couple dollars a month going up and down depending on usage over those periods during the summer and winter months. But that does not necessitate a rate action. If you'll flip to page 5 in the material, I guess you can scroll to page 5 on your device there. You'll see our organizational chart, and I'll just make a couple notes about that. It contains the org chart for water, and the electric division. We've had a lot of turnover this year, especially getting close to this June 30th typical retirement date. We've lost 5 employees in the water sewer division to retirement, 1 in the electric division to retirement, and we've had 2 defections. Basically, 1 took another job and 1 moved back home, and so that's a lot of turnover. We've got jobs to fill. I've interviewed and hired 6 or 7 of those positions. We're close to backfilling all those to get ready for July 1, but we've been busy working on that. One of the issues that has created a problem in the past years and is going to lead to an issue going forward is our apprentice line program. It's a 10-year program, and when you're a young apprentice lineman, 10 years is a long time. And so we've lost some to nearby utilities. We've lost some to the contractor ranks because they can make more money faster. We feel that that we need to shrink that 10-year period down to 6 or 7 years. And I'll come to you later after I work with Braxton on and we polish up a plan for you. But that's going to come in fiscal year 23. I hope is that we can keep our younger talent to let them be trained long enough to where they take over for our guys who are retiring. Because if we don't, we're going to have some big problems with maintaining the reliability our customers are used to, because we've just got a bunch of guys who are getting close to retirement age, and we don't have the seasoned linemen to fill those positions. So I really want to hang on to the linemen we got now and push these others through the ranks.
Well, and just as a reminder to the board, we don't look at changes in structure and salaries and those things until our regular budget time. So these are his operating expenses minus what increases for salaries and that kind of thing.
I just want to point it out because you'll be hearing it again, and it's an issue we face. We've tried to address it in the past. We've hired young linemen. We can't train them fast enough. We get them 2 or 3 years in, and then they defect to another utility. They take a contractor job or one or the other.
I mean, it seems like there ought just to be a level of expertise that you get to that when you achieve that level, that you can move on and get out of that apprentice. Maybe you can do it in 5 years, maybe it can be 6, but it ought to be a performance-based and not just a
a lot of it is, and that's a good point. And I can go over that as deep as y'all want to, but we've got probably 12 or 15 years ago when Lynn Robbins was manager, I think they established a 10-year program and had good reason for it. It's 5 years of structured TVPPA classes where you're physically going to a class and you're doing book work here in the utility warehouse where they're studying, they're taking a test, and they're going to physically do work in the field to determine if they've mastered those work habits and safety habits and the things they need to learn, whether they're learning it or not. And so after 5 years, they take a final exam, and then they essentially transition from an apprentice to like they're done with all their lab and their textbook work and all that, but we currently require 5 additional years for on-the-job training. That's the part I'd like to trim down from 5 years to 1 or 2, because they still have to learn more about our system and just see all the problems that they could face over the years to master them. And so I think 7 years, maybe the sweet spot, 6 or 7 years. I've talked to some other utilities, and that's kind of what they're doing, is they're doing a 6-year apprentice program, then a 2 or 3 year staggered lineman program where they can still get increases as linemen as they continue to master those skills. And then they move up to working line foreman and then operations superintendent, which is the highest level, and that's only one person. That's Benji Hanks, because he's running the whole operations side of things. And so that's kind of how it's structured now. We can talk about that later, but I'll bring that back up another time. Next, our customer numbers are up. We're now over 10,000 electric customers, which is the highest it's been since I've been at the utility, along with 14,300 water and 12,400 sewer, and an additional 14,000 or so sanitation customers that we provide customer service and billing for. When analyzed overall, these amount to around 20,000 unique utility accounts. If you think about it, because not all customers have electric, not all have water and sewer, not all have sanitation, but when you mix and mingle all those unique accounts, it's about 18, 19, 20,000, which is a good size utility when you look at it. On page 9, you'll see our financial statistics and ratios, and I'd just like to point out a couple things on that. Our overall employee numbers are trending down. As you'll see, just 5 years ago, we had 32, then down to 31 and 29. I think we're currently at 28, and we'll probably get to 29 if we make a hire that we're trying to do right now. But you'll see it's trending down, and I think the reason for that is we're deploying more technology, so we need less meter readers. We're doing things in areas where we can reduce personnel and just add workload and add the right employees who can take care of the job. And we're streamlining responsibilities and cross-training. Another thing to observe is our O&M per customer is lower than it has been in 4 years. If you'll notice, net, it's the O&M expense per customer, which is about the 5th line down. It's $227 per customer. And according to our rate consultant, Chris Mitchell, Oxford Utilities has the lowest O&M per customer rate in all of his 90-plus utilities that he analyzes. I think that says a lot. That says that we're doing more with less. I've got the chart to show it, but we're on the way left and the lowest amount.
That's great.
We're doing more with less. Now, whether that means we're trending behind on some things we need to bump up, whether it's salaries or otherwise, I don't know. We'll have to analyze that. But we are working hard, and I think a lot of it has to do with our density. We've got still right at the highest density of any utility in TVA, 153 different utilities, right at 100 customers a mile, 92 customers a mile, which is pretty extraordinary. A lot of cooperative utilities have densities in the 7 to 10 customers a mile range. So when you multiply that by 9, it's just hard to imagine. We got more than Nashville and Chattanooga and Memphis and all that. So
wow.
Pretty staggering. On page 11 or 10, I think our energy sales and revenue less power costs are stable over the past few years, indicating we have a healthy utility with proper rates. We're getting the right percentage of our overall rates to cover our expenses. All this occurs while our average residential usage is shrinking due to energy efficiency. You'll see that on page 12. Our usage per month for the residential class is going down due to energy efficiency. People are putting LED bulbs and more efficient appliances. That's just the way it is. And so we've got to be strategic and operate more efficiently on our side as a utility. Page 13 is our fiscal year 23 budget, and it shows our 23 budget and our 22 budget, projected 22 fiscal year ending amounts, and firstly, fiscal year 22 year-to-date is tracking very well, and we look to exceed planned revenues, and our O&M expenses will come in lower than projected. In fiscal year 23, we expect revenues to remain high and have estimated purchase power costs and other operating expenses based on trends with usage and recent weather patterns. TVA has said, as I mentioned a minute ago, they don't plan to increase utility rates or wholesale power rates. We project $2.48 million available for capital projects based on this budget, and I've summarized those projects and purchases on pages 15 through 17. And I'll go through a couple of those if you want to hear about the capital projects. Sure. We plan to continue our overhead to underground conversions, focusing on our priority list that we develop. And that priority list is based on customer needs and board needs, but also it's our right-of-way issue areas where we're having to go in and trim in people's yards, and it's creating outages for us. We want to get those underground on the street as quickly as we can. And so, like I said, on that Highway 6 project, it's a trimming issue because it's, a half mile through the woods, and you get trees falling and just lots of issues, as you can imagine. So we're moving those underground based on our priority list. And our 5-year engineering work plan. If you remember 2 or 3 years ago, we did a work plan with Allen and Hoschel, and they came up with the voltage projects at the substations and with some of our underground priority lists and other things. And so we're addressing those issues in the work plan too. The number 2 on our list is install voltage regulation at our Oxford substation. We just did this at the conference center station, and we'd like to do the same project at the Oxford substation to address future voltage issues there. We're struggling a little bit with finding the right area to put these regulators, but we believe we can solve the problems and start that project in fiscal year 23, and that's a pretty high-cost project. Another project is addressing needs at 18th Street. That was in our 5-year work plan. We want to perform some maintenance and improvements there. We've got budgeted 2 service trucks in this budget. We've had service trucks budgeted the last 2 years, and we ordered one 2 years ago and got it last year, and the one we ordered this year, it's supposed to be in any day, but it could be a month or 2. So we're gonna say we want to buy 2 just so we can maybe get 2 this fiscal year, or at least another one ordered this fiscal year, because we do have needs. Our truck and our fleet, it's aging, as you can imagine. And one thing in here that I'd like to talk about is to investigate and possibly purchase, if the board wishes, an electric vehicle for Oxford Utilities. I think they're becoming more prevalent in Oxford. Every day I drive around, I see electric cars. The Teslas are everywhere. And I hear the pickup truck is coming, and so it's coming to our region, really. Tennessee and Mississippi, they're making more vehicles here. And so I'd like to investigate that and spend up to $50,000 on an electric vehicle to test, to learn about, to advise our customers, to advise the board, if you see fit. But that's it's in the budget.
If you do that, I think the truck is the way to go for it. Like,
okay.
Look into that.
Absolutely.
That way you can have the car aspect of it, but it can be a work truck as well.
Right. Right. We'll have to, I guess, look at the numbers when those come out, if they fall in the budget, and also if the range. Oh, good. Okay. Maybe have the range we need to be able to get. Right now, range anxiety is a big holdup on electric vehicles, and that's the reason for the EV fast charger project. And so hopefully we can fill that issue and get more chargers out there on the road for people. And that's basically the conclusion of the presentation. Happy to go through any other items or questions you have for the fiscal year 23 budget.
It looks good. I appreciate all the hard work and detail.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
Reviewed it in detail, and it's amazing the work you put in behind it.
Thank you.
It shows. Thank you.
Yep, any questions from anyone? All right. So if there are no questions, then I would request approval of this FY 22-23 budget.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, Rob. And we'll visit this summer about that restructuring and look at salaries. All right, I would ask the board to consider an executive session.
Move we consider executive session.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? The board will now consider an executive session.